In a world that pushes OnlyFans, the Bob House, and so much more, what is a Christian perspective on these topics? Hi, my name is soliamechling. I'm a Christian 17-year-old girl, and I love to share my faith on social media. I thought I would talk about this because I'm sure, like everybody else has seen, I saw what was going on with Piper Rockelle even before she entered this era of her life. I have talked about what went on with Lily Say and some of these other people that have decided to become workers. I'm getting all my opinions and my beliefs off of the Bible, but also common sense and science-backed stuff as well. So let's start in with what has been going on with Piper Rockelle. So if you guys did not know, Piper Rockelle was a very famous kid influencer. She got famous around 2016, 2018 for doing stuff on YouTube and short form content. Well, behind the scenes, Piper Rockelle had a very abusive life and a very abusive mother. And a documentary came out about her talking about all of this, showcasing abuse and all of the things which hurt Piper. And I want to say this before I get into any other part of this video, that there is so much love in my heart for these girls that have decided to do this. I know a lot of people can look at this and say, this is disgusting, how could you do this? But I think all of us have to remember that we're all sinners. We have all fallen short of the glory of God, and we need to keep our eyes on Him. With that being said, Piper Rockelle is a grown adult. And with that being said, grown adults can do what they want to do, but that doesn't mean there's consequences for it. I've seen a lot of Piper's content. I used to watch her before she got into this era of her life. And what I can tell you is she genuinely seems like a sweet person whose life and people in her life led her wrong and exploited her. And it kind of reminds me of Britney Spears in the sense that she was exploited by so many people around her for likes, for clicks, for attention. And then at the end of that, she was left with nothing and everybody turned their backs on her. And so I think Piper was somebody that made that decision. I'm not sure why she made the decision to, but I think that we need to remember that this is a very broken girl from a broken family, and she is probably doing the best thing that she thinks is in her mind. So that is what I have to say on Piper Rockelle. But why did she drop the link? Why did she go into OnlyFans? What is OnlyFans? What is the Bob House? Let's talk about that. So if you guys didn't know, which hopefully you didn't, but basically the Bob House is this house of female influencers who live together and create content for OnlyFans. It's focused on an intimate girlfriend experience. And if that made you uncomfortable, well, yeah, it should make all of us uncomfortable. Why is there a house dedicated to creating OnlyFans content, adult content? They're making this seem like it's something fun to do, that it's something that all these girls want to do, so follow us on Instagram being provocative and all of these things. Here's my things with OnlyFans. It markets itself as something incredible, as an opportunity, a way to get rich quickly. You don't really have to actually interact with these men. You just have to take some photos. You just have to take some videos. You just have to do some things with other people. And you're not really compromising your purity. You're not really doing anything. Yet, unfortunately, the reality of that is much darker and much deeper. But before I get into that, let's talk about the Christian perspective in here. With what Piper Rockelle has gone through and the Bob House. What do I think about it as a Christian girl, and what does the Bible say about it? The Bible is very clear on sexual sin, on immorality, on all of these topics, and I don't like it when people say that God is gray, because God is not. God is black and white, and He has listed tons of verses, tons of stories where He has stated blatantly His opinion on these things. That being said, we are all sinners in need of God's glory, but that doesn't mean that God is going to accept our sin. Yes, doing OnlyFans is a sin. Doing work is a sin, and that's how it is. God has shown redemption stories. If you look at the woman at the well who had been cheating on her husband, who had had a rough past with men, that had been hurt, she was in sexual sin because she was cheating on her husband, and the Lord called her out for that. And there's so many other stories of this going on and the Lord calling women out, but also the fact that God created women as such a beautiful thing, as such a beautiful gift. In the Bible, it says that you are more precious than rubies. Psalms 139, I believe it is, says that you were formed together in your mother's womb and God knit you together. These are not flippant things. More precious than rubies, God calls us as women. So why as women, why would Piper Rockelle or some of these bop house creators, why would they degrade themselves in that way to sell a photo, to sell a video, to degrade their body for money? It's wrong and it's sad. It's truly sad, because the way God created all of the things in the Bible is within the bounds of marriage, within the bounds of being a man and being a woman committed to each other in a relationship under a covenant of the Lord. It was never meant to be this thing outside of marriage. It was never meant to be this flippant thing, because it is a soul tie. You have a soul tie to that person, and you're giving that person half of you. And it's really important to be careful with who you do that with and make sure that it is in the bounds of marriage. That's what God says about this. So when people are saying, it's just a photo, it's just a video, it's not that big of a deal, why would you degrade yourself to this man who's buying from you, who does not care about you, who wants instant satisfaction and gratification, who is addicted to this? Why would you give him this satisfaction when you are worth more than rubies, God calls you? I know Piper Rockelle will not watch this, or any girls from the Bob House, but if you as a girl have ever thought about doing OnlyFans, I want you to remember that there will be someone out there for you that will wait. There will be a man out there that will wait for your purity and that will protect your purity. And I would rather have $0 to my name than degrade myself in the way of OnlyFans. And I know people are like, it's their choice. 100%. It is their choice. But that does not mean as Christians we cannot talk about this. So I'm going to continue. What really is OnlyFans? Well, OnlyFans is a form of online adult activities and adult content where people can purchase that from other creators in this sense. Most OnlyFans people, okay, these are not the top people. This is not Piper Rockelle. This is not Lily Tay or Bonnie Blue. Most creators earn about $150 to $180 per month. The top 1% is getting 33% of all earnings. Those are the people that are making the $300,000 a month, that are paying for the Lambos in the houses. That is the top 1%. But then you have to remember that you have all of these taxes tied into that. And then you have to remember that OnlyFans takes a cut of that. So it's not all what it's made to be. Here's the thing. I was able to meet Nala Ray. I will show a photo of who Nala Ray is. And basically her story was she went on the whatever podcast. I will insert the clip here.
Biggest fantasy is
not even cheating. My biggest. It's like one of my fantasies.
Has completely changed her life and given her life to Christ and is working through what that relationship with him means. But I was able to meet her and I was able to talk to her and discuss things with her. And what she told me is those things on social media never go away, and that's something that she regrets the most, is that the photos are still on social media and the videos are still on social media, videos that people have of her that she'll never meet, faces she never talked to, people who she will never know, that have pieces and bits of her soul, and she hates that. And of course God has redeemed her, and she is loved, and she is precious, and she is more precious than rubies, and I'm so happy that she has found her worth in Christ, who calls us higher. But at the same time, OnlyFans has this side of it, a side that will never stop, no matter how many times you try to erase things, how many times you try to delete things. They will always be on social media. You will have a digital footprint. And to the people like Piper Rockelle or Lily Tay, or girls that make millions of dollars within the first couple days, within the first couple hours, how odd is that? That you wait right until you're 18, and all of these men that have been watching you on social media growing up, 40-year-old men, fathers, can now pay to see parts of you. We were never meant to have this worldwide app and worldwide online website to be able to sell yourself and to sell other people and for other people to purchase like that. That's not biblical. That's not okay. And it's just as bad as so many other things. It impacts men and it impacts women. Don't ever think that it doesn't impact someone, because it does. It impacts the men and the women that both participate in this. For the men, it creates addictive cycles, unrealistic expectations in future partners. It leads to more financial strain, and it also leads for more depression and more anxiety, sometimes even leading to suicide and increased loneliness. This is what we're dealing on the men's side. And on the women's side, it is that lack of feeling loved. It is that feeling lonely. Here's the thing about OnlyFans as well. When you think you are chatting with the star or the influencer and you think that you have a connection with them, it is bots. It is people, third-party people that are coming into contact with you. It is not the creator. It is this fantasy world. You don't have any ties to the creator, and the creator does not have any ties to you. Again, going back to the Bible. What are my final opinions on OnlyFans, Bob House, Piper Rockelle? What are my thoughts about it? I think that it is horrible. It is horrible if you participate in it. It is horrible if you are a creator on it. It is horrible if you think it's something that we should accept in society. That being said, there is so much love and grace for people that have done that in their past or are doing that currently. You are not too far gone. You are not too far deep into this. You are not too many contracts deep. Jesus can redeem you. He can restore you. He can show you that love is not tied to your body. Love is not tied to what you can do for other people. Love is tied to who you are and who He called you to be as a son or a daughter of His. It is not in your body. And when you give men a piece of that, they always want more. God only asks for your heart posture. He doesn't expect anything else from you. But men will always feel empty. And this is just in general, men and women. You will always feel empty. You will always feel lonely. Do you understand how many OnlyFans creators are probably lonely in their lives? Are probably sad? Are probably depressed? I hope that's not the case, but it is a big reality. Do you know how many OnlyFans people are probably in debt? Trying to keep up a lifestyle that they can't, contracts deep, feeling like their soul's being chipped away. We have to pray for these people and we have to talk about this because it's not okay. If you have ever struggled with sexual sin in your life, you're not alone. There's so many people that have struggled with this. That's not to say that it's not hard, but that is to say that people struggle with it. You're not alone. But it is an addiction and you need to break it. It is sexual sin, and that is you are sinning against God. And the one thing that divides you between God is sin. Again, everybody sins. But if you are addicted to sin and you're constantly sinning, you need to bring it into the light. My pastor was just talking about this, and I think it's very interesting that I felt very led to share about this, and a lot of people wanted me to talk about this as well. Because sexual sin is not just posting on OnlyFans and buying on OnlyFans. It's what are you scrolling through on social media? What's popping up on your phone? What links are you clicking? What are you paying for? What are you looking at? That is all important. That is all where we have gotten in a society. What clothes do you wear? Again, that can trigger some people. But at the end of the day, it is about respecting your body and what you feel like respects your body. If you look back at the 1800s, of course, women were restricted and there was things there. But men and women both dressed in a higher class. They dressed like they were proud of themselves, like they were protecting themselves and covering themselves. And now it seems like there's hardly enough fabric to go around things. God can break any addiction that you have. He can. He can release you from it all, and He can save you from it all. And that being said, I will stand boldly in my conviction that OnlyFans is evil, that if you work in that industry, it is evil. Okay? What I'm saying, it is evil. The choices that these women are making are only harming them. It's not helping them. It's not making them richer. I mean, it is, but at what cost? At what cost are you willing to sell your soul and sell your body to people that you don't even know, that don't even care? Because at the end of the day, that's what it is. It's a transaction, a horrible transaction. And people will say it's empowering. It's empowering to be an OnlyFans model. I get to choose what I want for my body. How many times have we heard that on the whatever podcast or on our social media or through news channels and sources? It's empowering to do OnlyFans. I think in the West, we have done this really disgusting thing where we glamorize doing OnlyFans content, and we glamorize this very sexual life and this very promiscuous life. We look at married couples and point the finger and laugh and say, oh my gosh, you're trapped. When in reality, it's the people that are trapped. It's the people that think that this is empowering. It's the women that are pushing this on the younger girls, saying this is empowering, when really it's just a different form of slavery disguised as empowerment. And it's not right. It's evil, and it's sad, and it's heartbreaking, because these women are worth more than their bodies. And I want them to see that as a Christian girl, we're worth more than our bodies. And Jesus says that. God says that time and time again in the Bible. And I just want these women to know they're so loved by a creator that loves them, and they don't have to make these choices. At the end of the day, you can leave it all. It might be hard to walk away from it. It might be difficult to walk away. You might have to say no to opportunities, but you have to walk away from this. And something that, again, going back to that Western culture and that Western society, is that women glamorize this, saying it's empowering, and yet there's women in Africa and Sudan and Nigeria and the Middle East that are forced into it, that are in bondage, that are in slavery, that have to marry adult men, children that are going through things. And they might look at America and they might look at Western society and not understand why these women are saying that this is empowering and they're making money off of it. And yes, they're adults. They're adults. They get to make their own choices. People might say, why are you judging? You're just a judging Christian. No, I want these women out of a place of love. I want these women to understand that they are so loved. I want people to understand that OnlyFans is this weird way of degrading yourself, and that you were meant for a life so much more than giving your body to someone who doesn't care. That's my thoughts on this. If you guys want me to continue talking about this, I would love to. Please subscribe, hit that like button, comment, all of the things. Share what your thoughts are. I'm totally, you have free speech. You can disagree with me. You can agree with me. Duke it out, but please do politely. And yeah, let me know what you guys thought about this. Let me know if you guys want me to continue talking about these things from a biblical perspective. And even if you don't, I probably will still be doing it. So yeah.